and the Labour Party Presidential Campaign Council may be named today or tomorrow, we were told. Let me welcome my colleague, Abulu.
Amechi, good morning, and good morning, Nigerians, and congratulations to politicians. Today marks the beginning of campaigns ahead of 2023 general elections. I must say that the advice coming from religious leaders, traditional rulers, INEC itself, the belief that it should be issue-based, it should eschew violence, and this goes to the flag bearers to also tell their supporters that Nigerians have suffered a lot in looking at the insecurity in all regions and zones. We won't have to be one violence, one suffering too many if the elections are characterized by violence again. Abechi, this is when you begin to see how people do researches. You are preparing to occupy a public office, be ready that people are there already doing research on your last child, your first child, your wife, your first wife, your second wife, your third wife, your best friend.
For polygamists.
Yeah, good. People have done researches about your public life, your private life, and your business associates. People have done researches on your failed past, on your successes in the past. So we're going to see the media space awash, social media awash with information about these presidential candidates. And what one would like to advise is that, as I keep saying, you're not out there to undo the other party. You are there to promote yourself.
Yes, what you have just thrown up deserves some further exploration. We have always insisted on the need for issue-based campaign, but some people will say, like we have highlighted, there are things that ordinarily should have been personal to the candidates, but because they are going into political offices, public offices, it should not be their personal issues again. That it must come to the fray, and because these are persons that you are going to entrust to the lives of citizens, we need to interrogate what they have done, rightly or wrongly, what they ought to do, rightly or wrongly. And that is where we will know and ask, where do we draw the line? In terms of mudslinging, in terms of going into petty issues. In my place, they say, Kasisa konogwa sise fenaju. It means if you're not to do the big one, if you ask, for instance, it's not direct translation. If you preach against marking a child, should you also not drag the child's ear when you believe the child has erred? That, yes, in as much as we should not go into frivolities, there are frivolities we cannot ignore terms of the life and times of the candidates.
Now we took after the presidential system of government of the United States of America, and I must tell you that if you watch the last presidential election in America, you know that Donald Trump, the opposition really went deep on Donald Trump's family, the Trump empire. And you know how the social media was awash with every details about his first wife, how she left, and when he was doing the pageant, when he was there, whether he tapped some beauty pageant on their buttocks or not, all those things were revealed.
Came up, yeah.
So as a presidential candidate going into these elections, one will advise that be ready to answer any questions about your nationality, questions about your dedication to your people, questions about if you have the southeast behind you, questions about if you have the northeast behind you, questions about if you have the southwest behind you, because we heard yesterday Afenifere saying they are backing Peter Obi use an Igbo extraction, and you know what that means. So are we going to see the southwest people backing up their political godfather, or they are backing up their social cultural group? Amechi, politics is grassrooted. TV will tell us that you know how strong politics is in the grassroots. So Afenifere has its roots down, planted in the root of Southwest, and they are saying they are backing an Igbo man. Tinubu has to wake up and be what they call it now, batified. Have to wake up and know that this is the game has started. It's not. It's no longer party primaries we are talking about. The game has started.
Real campaigns.
Obi has been going through the southwest. Atiku has been going to the southeast. Kwankwaso has been going to the north central. Kachuku has been going to the northeast. And Tinubu, we don't know where he is.
And we just hope this round the country visits will continue whenever they win. And they should not be secluded in that sort of presidential villa. They are moving around, consultations should continue after they have won. Let's bring in Etebet here. Where do we draw the line? Should we remind someone that he was born under the tree and not in a hospital as a candidate? Or question your family life as a presidential candidate, as a senatorial candidate? Or will remain with issues what you have done in previous offices, private enterprise, public office? Where do we draw the line?
Good morning, Amit. Good morning, Lisa. Maybe I should also ask you, like typical of a Nigerian answering the question.
We'll bring him in later to indeed speak on it. But quick explanation from the Asura Presidential Villa, Abuja yesterday, gentlemen. The presidency clarified that no approval for Katsina State or indeed any other state for their local security outfit to bear AK-47. It was for mere training, they said.
Yes, it's nice that that is coming because it's been there for a very long time. In fact, yesterday the Labour Party candidate declared his support, that he will support the federal government. If he wins, he will have the federal government, approve that these security outfits carry arms and all of
AK-47.
And I mean, I asked myself, the US, the UK, and all of that have several interests across the world and the rest. Is it policemen, people carrying arms that they are using to protect themselves? Intelligence is much more. All these security outfits, and one area that all of us have agreed that our security architecture has failed is in intelligence gathering.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
That is what
where you see too many arms being displayed, there's insecurity. Where you don't see much arms in display, there's security.
72 policemen are to be, disciplined or ordered by
recommended
because they bear arms, they carry arms. For goodness sake, and in US, and these people are carrying body counts so that to deter
in other words, the presence of arms does not
solve the problem.
Security.
Yeah, quickly, let me advise presidential candidates that they should not be off balance, that statements they make during this campaign can either make or mar them. Be careful how you make your statement on security issues. The Labour Party now is saying is supporting those states to carry arms. I think you should be very careful making such statements. When the presidency is saying that no states vigilante has been approved, if you are making statement as a presidential candidate, be careful.
But
that is what he believes.
Is there anything wrong in saying, I will give you arms to defend yourselves?
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong per se, but Amici, deep down, you know very well.
All you need is a presidential approval.
We don't have a gun law, a carrying law in this country.
No, the Firearms Act empowers the president to approve use of such arms. So it is within the powers of the president. So a president can.
Like the one that said you said NNPC that he was wanted, the PDP presidential in 2019. So I just want
and later
we
saw how
the comments they make as they go into the campaign. We don't have rotational presidency that was thrown out yesterday.
I mean, it's better that they say those things so that we'll know. Yes. Instead of keeping it to themselves when they get there, they start doing things that we don't know.
We'll have our mails and Dr. Linus Okoro is there. Stay with us.